Breaking, DEA and FBI just stormed a Texas logistics hub. Authorities say 52 tons of meth were seized.
2:17 p.m. San Antonio, Texas. A refrigerated semi-truck slowed at a federal checkpoint. The driver smiled through the window. His paperwork was perfect. Everything looked routine. But in 90 seconds, federal agents would pull the thread that unraveled a $2 billion empire. An empire that had weaponized the American supply chain. An empire protected by 20 corrupt politicians who sold their communities for campaign donations. Let me show you how deep the betrayal goes. If you want the full truth about how cartels infiltrated legitimate American businesses, hit like so this story reaches more people. The truck bore a familiar logo. Atlas National Logistics. This wasn't some back-alley operation. Atlas was ranked in the top 2% of carriers nationwide. They held contracts with Walmart, with Costco, with Kroger, fully certified by the Department of Transportation. The driver had made this route 240 times without incident. But a K-9 unit sat down near the rear axle and refused to move. Officers unloaded crates of lettuce and tomatoes. They checked walls, checked ceiling. Nothing visible. The dog didn't lie. Agents brought in a mobile density scanner. The trailer floor lit up red on their screens. It was several inches thicker than factory specifications. Tools came out. Bolts removed. Metal panels pried open. Beneath the refrigerated floor was a hydraulic compartment built with industrial precision. Inside, 100 kilograms of pure methamphetamine. Black market value, $8.3 million. The driver was handcuffed immediately. His hands shook. His voice cracked. He kept repeating the same sentence over and over. I deliver lettuce. 6 years. I just deliver lettuce. Inside the interrogation room, federal agents realized something terrifying. He was telling the truth. Comment exposed if you believe innocent drivers deserve to know what they're hauling. The compartment could only be accessed by removing cargo pallets in a specific sequence. A code the driver never received. The floor was mounted on hydraulic supports calibrated to avoid weight sensors at every weigh station. This wasn't a smuggler hiding drugs in a truck. This was a truck engineered to hide drugs from the driver. If this truck existed, there had to be others. Not one, not 10, possibly hundreds moving daily across America's interstates, carrying poison hidden beneath food. What agents uncovered was not a crime. It was infrastructure. For 15 years, Atlas National Logistics operated as a trusted pillar of American commerce. 500 drivers on the payroll. Massive maintenance facilities across Texas. But DEA intelligence units spent 18 months peeling back the layers. Atlas National hadn't been infiltrated by a cartel. It was owned by one. The Sinaloa cartel had purchased the company in 2009 using shell corporations registered in Delaware and Panama. The business model was brilliant in its deception. Out of 250 trucks in the fleet, 150 were completely legitimate. Real cargo, real drivers, real deliveries. But 100 trucks were priority units. These vehicles were sent to a cartel-owned garage in Laredo where mechanics installed the hydraulic compartments. Each modification took 14 hours and cost $47,000. Temperature sensors functioned normally. Weight distribution passed inspection. Visual checks revealed nothing. The Sinaloa cartel had invested $4.7 million turning American trucks into weapons. Type yes if you're ready to see which politicians protected this operation. But sophisticated engineering alone doesn't explain 15 years without detection. How does a criminal empire pass hundreds of DOT inspections? How do they avoid zoning reviews for suspicious warehouses? The answer wasn't just mechanics. It was influence. As investigators dug through seized financial records, they found the protection network. More than 20 senior officials connected to transportation oversight, urban planning, and Port Authority had quietly intervened. No envelopes of cash in parking garages. It was subtler than that. Harold Jennings, Senior Inspector, Texas Department of Transportation. For 8 years, he personally certified Atlas National Fleet inspections. His bank account showed $680,000 in deposits labeled consulting fees. He never consulted for anyone. Maria Delgado, Corpus Christi City Zoning Commissioner. She approved a warehouse expansion in 2019 despite structural concerns flagged by 3 separate engineers. Her daughter received a $95,000 no-show job at an Atlas shell company. Robert Chen, State Transportation Committee Chair. He killed legislation that would have mandated enhanced cargo scanning for refrigerated trucks. His campaign received $240,000 from Atlas-linked PACs across 4 election cycles. This wasn't a few corrupt individuals. This was a system of protection. If this level of betrayal shocks you, hit like now. These officials were protecting something even bigger than the trucks. A warehouse in Corpus Christi that concealed a secret buried beneath Texas soil. A permanent smuggling gateway. As night fell, the investigation shifted from highway to coast. The truck seizure was just a symptom. Agents needed to find the source. DEA intelligence led them to a small logistics facility near the Corpus Christi port, registered as secondary cold storage, operating quietly for 7 years. To city inspectors, it looked ordinary. But thermal imaging drones flown at 20,000 feet revealed something that shouldn't exist. A heat signature deep underground. It wasn't a drainage pipe. It was an artery. Agents discovered a reinforced underground corridor stretching 1,400 feet. This wasn't crude tunnel work. It was an engineering marvel. Reinforced concrete walls, LED lighting, industrial ventilation, a motorized rail system capable of moving palletized cargo at 12 miles per hour. The tunnel ran from the warehouse directly to an unregistered coastal access point where small boats offloaded narcotics from larger vessels offshore. The cargo moved through the tunnel, into the warehouse, onto the trucks. Customs and Border Protection never saw it. Analysts estimated 30 to 40 tons of narcotics passed through this corridor every year. For 7 years straight. The tunnel fed the warehouse. The warehouse fed the trucks. The trucks fed America. Share this so more people understand how cartels bypass our borders. If agents struck the trucks but left the tunnel, the cartel would buy new trucks. If they sealed the tunnel but missed the political network, corrupt officials would approve a new facility. They had to kill the organism completely. Brain, heart, and vein simultaneously. The operation was named Shutdown. More than 400 federal agents from FBI, DEA, and DHS mobilized across the United States. They positioned in San Antonio, Corpus Christi, and along interstate highways in 12 states. From Arizona to New York. From Texas to Michigan. At exactly 4 a.m., the signal was given. Most of America slept. But the roads became a battlefield. The first stop lasted 90 seconds. On a Georgia highway, an Atlas truck heading west was signaled over. The driver stepped down holding coffee, thinking routine inspection. Within seconds, armed federal agents surrounded him. Beneath avocado crates, officers pried open the floor. 62 kilograms of methamphetamine, vacuum sealed, numbered like inventory. The scene repeated with military precision. 4:18 a.m. 27 trucks stopped. 4:41 a.m. 53 trucks stopped. 5 a.m. simultaneous seizures confirmed. Across 12 states. But highways were only half the war. Comment justice if you believe every cartel truck should be stopped. In San Antonio, tactical teams breached Atlas National Headquarters. This building had passed 15 consecutive audits. Doors shattered. Servers pulled from racks while still warm. Executives in tailored suits were forced face down onto polished floors they believed made them untouchable. They weren't treated like businessmen. They were treated like cartel operatives. Simultaneously in Corpus Christi, armored vehicles approached the cold storage warehouse. Headlights cut through pre-dawn darkness. Agents used breaching charges on the reinforced concrete floor. The building shook. They reached the tunnel entrance as cartel crew attempted to seal it. 3 men in work uniforms, welding torches in hand. They dropped tools and ran. Too late. Inside, agents found abandoned forklifts and half-wrapped pallets. On one platform alone, 1.3 tons of narcotics stacked and ready for transport before sunrise. This wasn't chaos. It was precision. Within 2 hours, agents seized more than 9 tons of drugs, froze $112 million in accounts, arrested over 180 suspects. The cartel communication network collapsed. Phones went dark. Encrypted systems froze. By noon, final numbers were staggering. 52 tons of methamphetamine, 1.7 million fentanyl pills. Black market value, $2.1 billion. The operation took 18 months to plan and 6 hours to execute. 4 years, this network moved poison with clockwork precision. They believed they were faster than government. They believed they were smarter. They were wrong. Hit like if you believe corrupt officials deserve prison. As sun rose, Atlas National trucks lined highways under federal guard. Logos stripped away. This wasn't a raid. It was an amputation. But as dust settled, agents turned attention to seized servers. The physical war was won. The digital war revealed something darker. Within 24 hours, technicians extracted 96 terabytes of data. Standard corporate files at first glance. But forensic accountants overlaid GPS data with financial ledgers. A pattern emerged. They found ghost routes. Analysts noticed 1,137 shipments over 7 years that made no economic sense. Trucks took longer paths, burned excess fuel, sat idle in remote towns for days. On paper, Atlas lost millions on these routes. In reality, they laundered fortunes. The company used inefficiencies to justify payments. Emergency repairs, phantom maintenance, consulting fees to businesses that didn't exist. Each transaction stayed under $48,000, below automatic federal reporting thresholds. Money flowed from cartel into trucking company, out to shell repair shops, finally into clean offshore accounts. They didn't hide money in walls. They hid it in failure, in bureaucracy. But the most explosive discovery wasn't the money. It was the names. Type accountability if politicians should face the same charges as cartel members. Buried in consulting folders were the receipts. Emails revealed a protection network extending far beyond the warehouse. Senior officials connected to zoning boards, port authorities, transportation committees had intervened quietly for a decade. When City Inspector David Ortega flagged the Corpus Christi warehouse for structural review 3 times, his supervisor Angela Torres told him to move on. Torres received $120,000 in campaign donations from Atlas shell companies. When Way Station Auditor Marcus Webb documented 43 irregular weight readings over 6 months, Transportation Commissioner Gerald Faust reassigned him. Faust's wife held a $180,000 consulting contract with Atlas. The FBI identified 20 individuals in public office who effectively worked for the cartel. They sold community safety for political capital. And the cost was measured in lives. Analysts overlaid Atlas delivery routes with public health records. The results were devastating. Between 2017 and 2024, counties served by Atlas priority routes recorded over 430,000 meth-related overdoses. More than 112,000 were fatal. That wasn't national average. That was geographic fingerprint. In cities where Atlas trucks made weekly deliveries, overdose deaths rose 68% faster than neighboring regions. This network didn't just distribute narcotics. It reshaped American demographics. Conservative estimates suggest Atlas operations contributed to over 190,000 premature deaths nationwide across 7 years. Not through violence, not through war, through quiet repetition. A truck, a route, a delivery. Share this before it disappears from news cycles. Atlas National Logistics is gone. The tunnel sealed with concrete. 20 politicians face federal indictments. 3 have pleaded guilty. 17 await trial. But investigation continues. Federal investigators identified 14 additional logistics companies with similar ownership structures, similar financial irregularities, similar political connections. Department of Justice opened parallel investigations in 8 states. This is not over. If you believe every major logistics company should be audited, comment investigate below. The American supply chain sustains 330 million people. But if cartels can weaponize that system, if they can turn trusted companies into smuggling pipelines, if they can buy protection from officials sworn to stop them, then the threat isn't at the border. The threat is already inside, moving at highway speed, hidden beneath produce, protected by paperwork. Hit subscribe so you don't miss trial updates. Trial of the 20 politicians begins in 47 days. Federal prosecutors prepare to present 96 terabytes of evidence. Every encrypted message, every financial transfer, every lie. Defense attorneys filed 230 motions to suppress evidence. They claim investigation was politically motivated. They argue clients facilitated economic development. But families who lost children don't see economic development. They see betrayal. This investigation represents the largest coordinated takedown of cartel infrastructure on U.S. soil in history. But it only happened because one K-9 unit sat down and refused to move. One dog. One moment. That's how close America came to never knowing. Share this story with everyone you know. The fight continues. And the question haunting every federal agent remains unanswered. How many more Atlas nationals are out there? This is only the beginning.